with us. Guess who our special guest is this time? None other than Michael W. Smith, and we're going to be world premiering 2 of his brand new music videos. We're going to be talking about Jesus Christ, Tougher Than Nails. Welcome to Fire by Night, a favorite of, I'm sure, almost every one of you that are watching the program today. His name is Michael W. Smith. Michael, thank you for being with us on Fire by Night.
Good to be here.
Why don't you tell us, because I don't know this, and I'm sure a lot of young people that may be watching it don't know this, how did you get your start in contemporary Christian music? Bring us back to the beginnings a little bit for you.
Okay, make a long story short, I grew up in West Virginia. I grew up in a very musical family, and started playing piano at a very young age and was really into sports all my life, but as I grew older, really developed a love for music. And I moved to Nashville, which was only about a 6-hour drive from West Virginia where I live, in 1978 to be a songwriter. And luckily, maybe I could get a cut, maybe I can cut a record someday. So, I made the move to Nashville and waited tables, worked at Coca-Cola, you name it. I did all the little odd jobs to pay the bills, and got a break in 1980 and got my first songwriting contract. And a year later, ran into a young girl named Amy Grant and got involved with her, writing songs for her, and opened up for Amy. And here we are, 7, 8 years later. It's all seemed to happen so fast.
And friends are friends forever if the Lord's the Lord of them. It's hard to let you go. In the Father's hands we know that a lifetime's not too long to live as friends.
You have gone very quickly to the top of your field in Christian music, and yet just in spending the last day or so with you, and I know with our crew, you're just a down-to-earth guy who just wants to work for the Lord. How have you been able to keep your success in perspective like you have?
I would say probably a big word that's probably been my favorite word in the past year or two has just been accountability. I think that's where it's at. I'm real close to my pastor in Nashville, Don Finto. I feel like all the core and group of people that we have at Reunion Records, there's a real family feel there. My manager's Mike Bland and Dan Harrell, who I mentioned earlier. There's just a real accountability there of I feel like if I start going off the deep end, I've given those guys complete freedom to just wring me by the neck and pull me back in here and give me a slapping around, you know what I'm saying? And I think you need that. I think there's a lot of people that are out there just kind of coasting and don't want anybody to, they don't want anybody around them, you know what I'm saying? They kind of want to do their own thing, and boy, that's you can really fall fast when you're alone in this thing. And so I think it's the kind of people you hang around with, and it's accountability. That's where it's at.
Most people in the United States, they really believe in Jesus. I mean, if you go up and ask someone, oh yeah, I believe Jesus, you believe the Son of God? Yeah, he's the Son of God. But yet, in America, we have such a moral decline, and we have a country that believes in him and yet doesn't practice what he taught. Why is that in the United States today, and is there something we can do to begin to change that?
I think we've got in this spirit of religiosity, really. It's I think we've grown up, at least me anyway, I grew up in a society where you went to church, and if you go Sunday morning and Sunday night and maybe Wednesday night if you were a Church of Christ, then you were cool, and it was something that wasn't discussed much, and your spirituality or whatever was always it was a private thing. It's nothing that we could talk about, That's the kind of culture I grew up in, although I had great parents who really taught me a lot about the Lord, but it was just nothing that was never discussed much. So I think a lot of people have grown up in this thing, hey, if I do the good deed trip, I'll be fine. and it's not based on good deeds. You can try to be good the rest of your life, and it's never going to get you to heaven.
Yeah.
It's all a grace thing, you know. So we're in deep trouble when you look at the churches today and you look and see what's happening. Now, I try to see the positive side of things too when I see what's happening here and seeing a lot of churches on the move. That great things are happening. People are beginning to see that there really is life in all this thing.
But there's been some really, it's really wild. We have been to a lot of places, and there's something really happening. I even feel it in here. There's really something happening. There's something happening all over the country. It's a movement, and I'm here to tell you we want to be a part of that movement. It has really blown our minds to see how people are being affected. I say all this to tell you that myself and all these guys back here, we have had a major encounter with Jesus. We have not been the same since.
Like we've all got to somehow unify as one body. There's a lot of separation between churches and all this sort of thing, and we're all scattered about. We've got to come together as one. And I feel like when we really see that, I think you're going to see the power of God move across America. Definitely had a change in my life. I became a Christian when I was 10, and really struggled when I got out of high school. I thought I'd missed out on all the good years and all that sort of thing, and got into the whole drug thing for 2 or 3 years, which I still can't believe I did, and I'm not proud of it at all. But God really had a hold on my life when I gave my life to Him at 10. I mean, I had a change in my life, and I still, through all the craziness and through all those years, I couldn't run away from it. And God had a hold on my heart. I've just had a change. I mean, it's I think if I had to say something to you all out there, I would say that, again, this is not a good deed trip. I mean, it's actually a personal relationship with Jesus that has affected me. You know, I mean, it's just, I feel like I've got a relationship with the God of the universe, and I think you're never really going to understand that until you give your life to Him. And I think when you do that, you're going to look back and say, boy, why did I wait around so long?
Nobody knows.